All right. So welcome everyone. Welcome. Good to have you at the final session of the Intercontinental Knowledge Sharing Workshop, where students from across Africa would get to share their projects implementation journey with students outside Africa. And on the call today, we have students from Climate Youth Japan joining on the call, and it's a privilege to have you. So right about that, I'll be sharing my screen so that everyone is screen.
Yes, we can see your screen.
Great. All right. So Timothy Girls, Aisha, can you kindly unmute and say hi if you can hear me?
Hi.
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 Yes.
Yes.
College of Science. Can you say hi? Call to speak. Kindly unmute. Okay, thank you. AMMK3 College of Science from Nigeria. If you can hear me, can you unmute and say hi? Okay. All right. Maybe there's a network glitch. Okay, so welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. And I would like to especially welcome the team from Climate Youth Japan joining us all the way from Japan today. So I think I will stop sharing so that Climate Youth Japan can go ahead and introduce themselves today. Welcome, Shakira. Welcome, Yuriko.
Okay, thank you, Rejoice. And I'm gonna share my screen. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Okay, so thank you for inviting us to host this workshop. And I'm Sakura Takahashi from Climate Youth Japan, which is called CYJ. And I'm gonna introduce about Climate Youth Japan and our activities. So the Climate Youth Japan is the youth environmental NGO, which is founded in 2010 by the Japanese youth who participate in the climate change COP15. And our vision is to achieve an equitable and sustainable society through youth-led solutions for climate change issues. So based on this vision, we aim to involving youth in the decision-making processes of society to achieve 1.5 degrees target of the Paris Agreement. Specifically, that we engage to educate young people about climate change issues and cooperate with many issues, and also they cooperate with various stakeholders, for example, ministries, research agencies, and companies. So in order to achieve an intergenerational, equitable, and sustainable society. And we have sent a total of more than 50 young people to the Climate Change Conference of Parties, COP, since the foundation. And we also consist of over 55 students from all over Japan, so who are highly interested in the climate change and the related those issues. And our main activities based on these three activities. One is the dissemination of information and fostering future leaders and participation in policy making. So in terms of dissemination of information, we're going to disseminate the information and the daily activities of during the climate change COP, because we have sent our members to every COP. And in terms of the participation in policy making, for example, we've made a joint use proposal to the which is made among the 3 organizations working in climate change, biodiversity, and SDGs to the Global Conference on Strengthening Synergies between the Paris Agreement and the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, which is held in Tokyo last year. And we also working on the fostering future leaders, so such as the organizing the online workshop like that, and also this year we co-host a local conference of youth ELCOI with the YPFB. So I'm gonna hand it to the Yoriko, my colleague Yoriko, who sees the COP28 dispatch members and also participated the local conference of youth Japan. So can you introduce about ELCOI and
Yes, thank you, Sakura-san. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, sure.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to be explaining about CYJ's work at ELCOI, but before that, I think some of you might be wondering, what is ELCOI? So basically, L stands for local, and COI stands for Conference of Parties. So ELCOI basically means a conference of party in a local scale. And what is this for? So ELCOI is for to incorporate more youth into the process of creating climate change related policy. And where is ELCOI affiliated? So to answer that question, we first need to start with the United Nations, right? And under United Nations, since the climate change issues is very significant these days, they created a organization called UNFCCC, stands for United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change. And in 2009, the UNFCCC Secretariat decided to invite or admit more youth and NGOs into the policymaking process. And the UNGO is the official children and youth constituency. Representatives from UNGO make official statements, provide technical and policy inputs to negotiate and engage with decisions. And UNGO runs various formats of conference of youth because like in order to create one official document, we need to talk, we need to conversate, we need a lot of conversation. So basically we have 3 types of conference of youth, short for KOI. One is called the GKOI. It is the official gathering of UNGO members, and it happens a couple of days before the annual conference of the parties, COP, which is the Supreme Decision-Making Conference related to climate change. And VKOI is for the people who's facing different barriers, such as lack of travel funds, visa restriction, and all of those youth like come together and share their inputs about climate changes. And lastly, RKOI and LKOI is organized prior to the GKOI across the world in order to localize the climate conversation and gather more inputs from the ground. And for LKOI in Japan, we, CYJ Climate Youth Japan, and as Sakura-san mentioned before, YPFP Tokyo, we worked together to held LKOI this year for Japan. And our main goal this year was to find our voice for a greener future by learning about climate change related works. But speaking of climate change related work, it's kind of vague. So there are many different climate change related work. So we focused mainly on 4 stakeholders, focusing on one type of stakeholders per day. And also at the same time, participants were divided into 4 groups, and each group responsible for one theme and prepared the National Youth Statement to be submitted to the UNFCCC. So the first day we invited civil society, staff from civil government organizations. And second day we invited some people from the national local government. Third day we invited some people from business sector, which relates to the climate change. And day 4, it was an academic kind of day, and youth climate actions at University of Tokyo was shared. And in the afternoon session, teams that were divided into 4 themes shared their policy and revised each other and created the final draft of policy recommendation to the UNFCCC. Oh, and I think I just run through really fast. So if you want more information about what we did, I'm going to send the information to the chat. So check it out if you're interested. Yeah, and that's it from me. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, very cool. Thank you, Shakira. And it's great to know what you do about climate change policies affecting ensuring that we involve youths in climate change policies is a great one. Well done, well done, well done. All right, so please, while you were speaking, we're trying to pass across some information that if you're just joining in, kindly introduce yourself and tell us where you're joining in from, the country you're joining in from, and the number of students that you're with. Yeah. So while that was going on, we have one of our advisors joining. Yeah, so we have Jolly Kaita. Hello, Jolly, can you hear us?
Yeah, sure, Rejoice, I can hear you well.
All right, welcome, good to have you. So Jolly advised the team from 84 TSS St. Charles, Rwanda, that constructed a green water tank to harvest rainwater for domestic use. So it's great having you here on the call. Thank you for joining in. So right about now, I would go on to introduce EcoHeroes initiative. But before then, I would have Precious to please just talk about our impact, Green Growth Africa, and what we'll be able to do. Hi, Precious, can you hear me?
Hi, Rejoice, I can hear you.
Okay, so yeah, can you introduce Green Growth Africa? Then we'll go from there.
All right, thank you. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. I trust we are doing great. It's great to have us here at the International Knowledge Sharing Workshop, second one actually for 2023. And thank you so much, Climate to Japan. I think you guys are doing an amazing work, and it's good to see young people. We are all young people on this call. It's good to see young people doing so much for our environment, for our communities. Yes, okay, so I'm Precious Oparanosi from Green Growth Africa. I currently lead our operations, but I am more full-time communications and strategy lead. And Green Growth Africa, basically what we do is that we work towards the innovation and development of solutions to Africa's most pressing challenges. And we have identified, of course, that among our most pressing challenges is the interlinkages between the environmental crisis, that is both the biodiversity loss, climate change, and our other socioeconomic challenges. We have poverty and all other extreme poverty, extreme hunger, and several other issues that socioeconomic challenges that we face. So what we look at, or what we do as Green Growth Africa, is to come up with solutions, to innovate solutions that will address these pressing challenges through a green socioeconomic pathway. So we are not just addressing the solutions with the methods that have failed to work for the past how many years that we have been trying to address Africa's issues, but we are looking at the whole sustainable development agenda in quotes, where we mainstream both environmental issues, or we mainstream environmental solutions within socioeconomic solutions. That is, they all merge together to form how, or to inform how we come up with solutions for these challenges that we have identified. So yes, so far we are based headquartered in Rwanda, Nigeria, and so far we have been able to reach over 5,000 young people across Africa, across 26 African countries, with both climate capacity building in green skills. So through our programs like EcoHeroes, which is why we're here, and we also have a mentoring for research program. And then we also work on policy, where we interact with stakeholders at government levels across Africa, and then also advocacy. So we have programs such as the Eco-knowledge derivatives and the Africa for Justice, Africa for Health initiative, where we have advocated for basically around biodiversity, climate change, and all that. And our efforts have reached over 8 million people because there are millions on social media. So our efforts have reached over 8 million people across our social media channels so far. So I think that is a brief introduction. So I think I would like to hand over to Rejoice to properly introduce EcoHeroes so that we can get into the business for today. So once again, thank you so much everyone for joining, and I'm sure we'll have a great time. Thank you.
Thank you, Precious. All right. Yeah, so right about now we're here today to just wrap up the 2022-2022 EcoHeroes initiative. And I'm sure there are some people that are asking, okay, so what is EcoHeroes initiative program about? So the EcoHeroes initiative program was formerly known as the Environmental Education Program, and it is implemented to empower African youths with action competencies in applying their classroom knowledge gained from their science, technology, engineering, arts, and maths courses to address environmental and socio-economic challenges within their local communities. And we basically do this going through the learner-centered approach, co-creation, and hands-on learning approach to raise a 21st century generation that comes up with innovative solutions to solve 21st century challenges and raise a green skilled workforce. So basically, for the EcoHeroes initiative program, we educate and empower students in secondary schools across African countries to identify environmental challenges and needs in their communities, conceptualize solutions by applying their previously classroom-grained knowledge, and gain hands-on experience while implementing their project with funding and mentorship support from international experts. And then, just as we are doing today, we gather together to share the knowledge gained from the projects that have been implemented. So they share knowledge with their peers locally and then internationally, just as we are doing with students from across Africa and outside Africa. And then constitute a student-based club called the EcoHeroes Club in such schools to carry on with the impact of the project after the period of funding of the project. So these spaces of identifying environmental challenges and needs, and they've thought about solution ideas and conceptualized solution ideas and implemented those solution ideas. And with mentorship support, just as we have like one of our advisors on the call today, Jolly Kaita, they've been able to guide them through the implementation phase. And here we're just gathered together to share the knowledge that has been gained from implementing projects in our various communities. So for the journey so far, we've been able to impact countries, over 8 countries across Africa: Nigeria, Kenya, Ghana, Cameroon, Uganda, South Africa, and so much. Our impact has spread so much across Africa, and we've been able to go through the process of doing the Intercontinental knowledge exchange with schools from USA, Italy, Canada, and now we're having Japan join us today. And so for the 2022-2023 EcoHeroes initiative, we focused on the thematic areas of sustainable energy, sustainable aviation, and climate change. And we have 6 school teams from 3 African countries, and we had 5 international experts from USA, Uganda, and Nigeria advise each of the teams in implementing their projects. So today we're going to be having each of the schools present their projects and we'll go right about now to the school presentations. So first off, we want the team from Fruitful Vines College, Ibadan, Nigeria, to unmute and say hi if they're on the call. Hello, Fruitful Vines College, Nigeria team, can you hear me? Okay, I welcome on the call. So Fruitful Vines College, Nigeria team constructed a solar-powered aircraft, and we'd love to hear more about your project. So you can go ahead and start your presentation. All right. All right, you're up, Fruitful Vines College team.
Yeah, no.
Sorry, we can't hear you. Hello, we can hear you. Can you hear us? Or can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so please, if you can hear me, just go ahead and present your project.
The primary goal of our project was to create a solar power aircraft that didn't require any form of fossil fuel. So we had a lot of goals to that we observed. We observed an implementation like research education, environmental awareness, and many other things. Also, we are able to assemble a team with the collaboration of other experts that help us in the construction of the solar, and we also have knowledge about aerospace engineering. We have to make our research and development, and we have to study existing solar power to understand the design, the challenges, and the innovations that we're going to encounter while performing our project. Also, we had to create a design, and then we had the blueprint for creating the prototype. We used AutoCAD for our design, and then we carried out our test to evaluate the solar-powered aircraft. We took out steps of aerodynamics. We considered our solar power efficiency and our overall performance. Also, we made use of a battery, a lithium battery, which was able to store energy for non-sun period and in the night, so that our aircraft would work at different times, notwithstanding whether there's sun.
Okay, so one of them, so the other implementations of solar powered aircraft that we had was environmental education curriculum. So the environmental education is meant to be inculcated into our curriculum, and it's meant to be taught to students of all levels. So another was teacher training.
Yes, sir. Okay, we also talked about our propulsion system. We selected an energy efficient propulsion system like electric motors to balance power to weight ratio. We made use of brushless outrunner DC motors on which the propellers were attached, so they were rotating with the help of those motors, which gave them the ability to fly. Also, we had regulatory compliances that we understood. We have to comply with the aviation regulation, and we have to check if everything was in place for the creation of our solar powered aircraft. Also, we have to check the safety standard on how our aircraft compares to aerodynamics and what will be needed for our aircraft to fly. Also, we have to obtain necessary permits and testing to fly our aircraft. We conducted a lot of tests to resolve potential issues, and also we performed our tests in a controlled environment to prevent to cut away any hindrance that we could encounter when carrying out the test for our project. Also, we have to publicize and make education on the aircraft.
Next.
We had a lot of problems that were encountered during the creation of the conductor. Insufficient materials, insufficient time, the problem of configuration. We had to look for the perfect software that we needed to use so that it would receive impulses from the flight controller, which was placed, and the receiver, which was placed on solar powered aircraft, and also incorrect configuration. We have to do it a lot of times with the different prototypes that we create.
So I'm going to talk about the knowledge gained from this project. So we started from we learned and understood about aerodynamics. We learned the way aircraft work and the way they fly, the way wind acts against them. So we're able to implement the knowledge we had into our project. We also learned of propulsion system, the materials we needed and we needed to use to make the project and everything. We had to make sure everything was in proportion and there wasn't any form of imbalance to make sure that the aircraft was going to fly and fly effectively. So we also have material science. We learned about some materials that we use and the materials that we use in making the aircraft. Like we made use of cardboard, carton, and also pulp papers in making our prototypes and also the real aircraft. We also have application of project in the aviation system. We also went through the knowledge of the aviation system where they build aircrafts and we were able to see how they build some aircraft and implement it to our project. We also have solar energy technology. We learned how to use this energy from the sun to charge our aircraft, and we make use of the solar panel in order to store that energy into our lithium battery. We also have knowledge of electrical engineering. When we connected our aircraft and the wiring together from both our classes and the project, during the course of the project, we learned how to connect the wires properly to the right places so that the electric current will flow through and other things.
Understanding of aircraft design. We learned more about what aircrafts can be made up of. We learned more about mechanical We learned more about what aircrafts can be made out of. We learned more about mechanical engineering. We learned that we learned the configuration of we learned how to calculate quadcopter in a way that it should. We learned about system integration. And we also learned about the skills of various components into a functional ecosystem.
We also learned about storage technologies like the batteries, the capacitors, the receivers that was placed on the drone to receive impulses from and signals from the drone controllers. Also, we learned about stress analysis that can be related to mechanical engineering. We learned about system integration on how to calibrate and how to perform how the activities of the drone could be performed efficiently without any hindrance. Also, we will turn the project into a functional aircraft and a system that we learned on various things and how to educate the community.
And also we learned about the battery and the battery capacitance. We had to make sure we used a battery that wasn't going to make the load and the weight of the drone very heavy. And we also had to make use of a lithium battery which was going to give us a high capacitance and storage of energy into the drone battery.
We made use of the knowledge got by implementation of the teacher training. With the help of our teachers, they gave us more knowledge on what to use and advice. We did some awareness campaign and we had hand learning. We incorporated our technology so that we could have a very good and efficient. Thanks to God, funded our road so that we could send environmental and NAAWE, Trust and Weekly,
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation. That was awesome. Thank you. That was really nice. Please, if you have questions for them or you have any comments, please ensure to drop them in the chat box. And if you are just joining us, please kindly introduce yourself and tell us where you're joining us from, as well as the number of students that you'll meet and their gender distribution. Thank you. So we'll go into the next presentation for now. 84 TSS St. Charles, please, are you here on the call? Okay. I think they're not here, right? So we'll move to the next presentation. Twinkle Star Secondary School, are you on the call this morning? Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Hi.
Hi.
Right. Welcome.
I invited you people.
Star Secondary School from Makurdi, Benue State.
You guys are the guests. Hello, everyone.
Oh, hello. Okay. So I think I'll just get my screen now so that they can. Yeah, so as I was saying, they constructed an hive that breeds black soldier fly that converts organic waste into livestock feed and organic manure. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Please just let me know if you can see my screen so that we can go ahead with their presentation. Thank you. Can you see my screen now, please?
Yes.
Okay, great. So you can start your presentation. Hello. Please go ahead and start your presentation.
Start from the beginning. Okay, you can start. Who is starting? Hello. We are Hello. We are students from Twinkle Star Secondary School, Makurdi, Benue State, Nigeria. The project we worked on was based on constructing a hive to breed black soldier fly in order to manage waste products and convert it into wealth materials. Thank you.
Um, from our research, we discovered that Nigeria trashes a total of 37.9 million tons of food every 12 months. This all goes into landfills where it rots and releases methane, a powerful greenhouse gas and a major contributor to global warming and climate change. Aside methane depleting our ozone layer, it is also a source of air pollution. Having the chemical symbol of CH4, it can also destroy the ozone layer, which can also allow Nigerians to die. Our project started with the construction of the hive. Then we used a bait to attract the adult female flies to lay their eggs. After a period of 5 to 19 days, we were able to extract some larvae, which we introduced into our hive for breeding process. Our project outcome started from the preparation of the bees, and then our work is then divided into 4 stages. First, the hive development. Second, the feedstock or bait preparation stage. Third, the BSF, the black soldier fly breeding stage, and then the introduction of the flies into a hive for maximum production of the larvae.
Our solution, Black Soldier Fly Hive, is an agricultural and food waste valorization system driven by the Internet of Things to breed black soldier fly for the purpose of production of livestock feed and also fertilizer for farming. Black Soldier Fly Hive will revolutionize organic waste management to provide an option for farmer, food vendor, and food processing industries to efficiently transform their waste into revenue generational products and also to generate income. Instead
Also,
of this waste going into the landfill to cause disaster or problems to our ecosystem, we have found a way to transform them into revenue and wealth materials.
using an innovative approach, our solution, the black soldier fly hive, is an agricultural and food waste valorization driven by the Internet of Things to breed black soldier fly using agricultural and food waste for the production of livestock feed and organic fertilizer for farming. Also, we've been able to distribute these products to 3 farmers because at the end of our products, we were able to obtain 2 products. First, the larvae for livestock feed and rich organic manure for farming. We were able to distribute the products to 3 farmers, and more than 50 students were trained on how to breed the black soldier fly. After a 19-day period, we were able to obtain some larvae which were now in a stage of pupa, and after a period of 33 to 38 days, we were able to get some adult black soldier fly. The egg takes 0 to 5 days to hatch, that is when it is laid. The larvae takes 5 to 19 days to become a pupa, and the pupa takes 19 to 33 days to hibernate and then metamorphose into a black soldier fly, although some of them may emerge before that period of time.
We also went on public sensitization on how to also transform their waste to revenue generational products, whereby we created awareness to students and also to our community on the benefits of transforming their waste into money materials or for the greenness of our land and our ecosystem.
Next step.
So our next step, after working on such a great project, we emerged with great ideas to um, enlarge these ideas to using educational outreach to inform the world and people around us to on this great idea to help them manage such waste products from either farms or household into what materials as stated by my colleague before. So this with this idea, they will have a great knowledge about it and also work on the green pastures to transform with waste into wealth.
Also, Nigeria stands to gain a lot from our project, aside letting this food into the landfills to generate methane. The organic waste which we got from the hive itself and also the waste product of the larvae can also be used as manure, which is also rich and can help a farmer's product yield better.
Working on still our next step, we plan to explore more black fly to different locations to help deploy these larvae into various locations to help them manage such waste products without letting them know about this, especially our farmers, which because us staying based in Benin here, we are most occupied with farming or agriculture. So distributing these ideas and deploy more larvae to farmers around us to help transform waste products into wealth materials. Thanks.
Also, we will continue to raise awareness about the importance of reducing food waste and the benefits of our solution through educational programs and awareness campaigns.
Throughout our working on this project, we encountered some limitations, which were lack of funds, insufficient funds, also low yield of black soldier flies, insufficient time, and also
Weather condition.
weather conditions.
We are unable to predict the normal or the required conditions for the larvae to grow effectively, and as such, our yield was obstructed by such ignorance.
Okay. Also, our conclusion. Our project stands as a beacon of hope for a more greener and efficient future. We believe that if scaled up, its impact will extend far beyond its origin in our school and here in Nigeria. It will inspire positive change in waste management practices and environmental consciousness.
All right. Thank you so much for your presentation, team from Swing Star Secondary School. Yeah, well done for the presentation from you. So, please, once again, that question or you have comments, please don't forget to put them in the chat box, please. I hope we are learning. I hope we are all learning. Okay, all right. Okay, so for those that just joined us too, if you're just joining us, don't forget to introduce yourself and tell us where you're joining in from and students that you're with, as well as their gender distribution. Okay, we'll go on to the next presentation from Kaimosi Girls High School, Kenya, and they produced solid and liquid fertilizers from organic waste, from plant waste. Yeah, so are you ready for your presentation?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, unmuted.
Yes, we are ready for the project
Presentation.
presentation. Yeah, the presentation of the project.
All right, so you can begin.
So we're working on our project, making solid and liquid fertilizers from plant waste. Over here, we are using orange peels, banana peels, water, and biodegradable chemicals. The project, we had a little problems. So worldwide, above 1 million people are involved in agriculture, and 80% of Kenyans are also involved in agriculture. And when we use artificial fertilizers, it causes harms and they're expensive. Every year, there's 385 million deaths about using inorganic fertilizers. Therefore, the inorganic fertilizers leads to climate change, effects, and environmental contamination. Thousands of fish also dies from eutrophication from chemicals of the fertilizers.
Also, when we are dealing with our projects, we had some solutions. So our first solution that we had was production of solid and liquid fertilizer, reduction of chemical input usage, promotion of safe agricultural practices, provision of affordable input to farmers, supporting a green environment, and lastly, using proper waste management and nutrient recycling.
On the sources of raw materials, the raw materials we used were organic farm waste, invasive plant waste, and farm produce to produce the solid fertilizers. Under raw materials analysis, the raw materials we used were chicken manure, cow urine, orange pelts, banana peels, grass leaves, and we measured the correct quantities to make sure that we have the best results.
So our project implementation, we collected plant refuse from our dining hall and also we placed dustbins from our classes and mixed it in a specific area. This was intending to make the solid and liquid fertilizers partly. We stored other plants to decompose and make the solid fertilizer. Then we used certain apparatus in our laboratory. We used burettes, pipettes, and also filter papers just to get the good result of liquid fertilizer. And we intend to make 90 kg of liquid fertilizer and also 90 kg of solid fertilizer and 360 liters of liquid fertilizer. So far, we have made 30 liters of liquid and we have made 50 kgs of solid fertilizers.
Under prototyping, we collected the raw materials that we are going to use, and after the collection, we prepared the raw materials. We extracted the solution to make the mixture, and we made our final product where we tested them in the laboratory. And after the final test of the product was we tested them on our crops. Some of the crops that we tested on them were mangoes, tomatoes, and rose flowers. They were at their early vegetation growth, and 1 liter of liquid fertilizer solution made was diluted into 10 liters of water. Crops were sprayed after every 4 days in 3 months.
So when we were analyzing,
And lastly, we have our results where the solid and liquid fertilizers that we use, increased yield of crops, reduction of cost of fertilizer, and increased the crop biomass by 40%.
We started our project 3 months ago, whereby we looked at the problems facing our community, thus enabling us to come up with the project making liquid fertilizer to help the farmers and to also communicate to the environment. So we engaged in community participation, students' involvement, peer counseling, and all such things to get the information so that we can be able to come up with a solution for our environment conservation.
And with this, we also got to engage with our society at large. And we also advise the people in our society. We also advise the students. We had the community engagement where we interacted with the adults, and we also the opportunity to engage with the community and also teach them about our products. We were able to share the products with some of the members of the community, and we also used it in our school farm where the produce was really good, and we are very happy to have such a product.
We are looking forward to interact with our agricultural officers, with the Ministry of Agriculture in our country, and we also appreciate for the support you gave us. We appreciate our school administration for supporting us in this project. We also thank Kat Stacy, who was also available in every implementation of our project, which she helped us to be successful. And we thank Green Growth Africa, Pratt and Whitney, for the support during the entire period of our project.
Thank you. That was our presentation.
That was but students have presented so well, amazing projects, giving solutions to environmental problems in their community, and it's really, really amazing. Such innovative works around you. All right. Once again, if you have questions, if you have comments, please note them down. If you can drop them in the chat box, just note them at the question and answer session. We're going to take every answer, and each team would be available to answer your questions. So do we have the team from AMMK3 College of Science? Hello. Hello, AMMK3 College of Science from Nigeria. Are you on the call? Okay. Can you hear us? Oh, okay. All right.
My name is Muhammad Bashar Jibril from Alhaji Musa Muhammad Kiyera, the Third Science College, New Busa. Are you hearing me, ma'am?
Yes, we can hear you. You can go ahead. Go ahead.
So
our project is focusing on production of school bags from plastic waste, which is pure water sachet leathers.
The problem we have identified is the harmful impact of the pure water sachet in our streets and drainages, which is the problem we have identified so far. So on our project idea, our EcoHero project is providing solution to the problem of the waste pure water sachet through recovering of the pure water sachet from the street and sachet water producers and upcycling them into school bags, thereby preventing it from littering the streets, blocking drainage, and saving our health from harmful impact of burning the plastic waste, which is the pure water sachet. And the project idea, 12 students It is 12 students that makes up the team. And the project idea objective: the promotion of climate action through student and community sensitization, and also promoting responsible consumption and production by working alongside producers of sachet pure water to prevent used pure water sachet from getting to the streets, drain it, and from being burned by collecting and reusing it for school bags. We embarking on this project, honestly, we embarking on this project make us to be responsible consumers. Before, if we consume the pure water, we always throw the sachet anywhere. We throw the sachet on the streets, in our homes. Our homes and our streets are littered with pure water sachet. Everywhere is littered with pure water sachet. But as we embark on this project, it makes us to be responsible consumers. When we consume the pure water sachet, we don't throw it away anyhow. Now, we don't throw the pure water sachet away anyhow. And also, we make other people around to be aware of the use of the pure water sachet. They should know that the pure water sachet is not a waste anymore. It's useful. We can also make use of the pure water sachet to produce something else. So reducing negative impact of plastic waste, particularly pure water sachet on life below water, by recovering them from the street. Also highlighting and relating the impact of carbon monoxide, CO, with the students, which we have already learned in school as a science-based school, to its real life effect on human being through the burning of the pure water waste, which is through the burning of the plastic waste, which is the pure water sachet. Also reusing the plastic waste pure water sachet into school bags, such that the pure water sachet, instead of it being a hand on us, we have turned it to be a blessing upon us.
Okay, go ahead. We're hearing you. We can hear you.
Project activities. The team activities. We start from the collection of filter waste, which is plastic, and then from the streets and pure water factory. Weighing of plastic waste, that is pure water sachets, and collecting of total weight of bags. That is 12,000 grams, which involve 600 pounds pure water sachet withdraw from the street and preventing from being burned. Washing of these plastic pure water sachets. Sun drying this plastic pure water sachet. Straightening and smoothing of the pure water sachet. Joining a large wide collection of pure water sachets together using sewing machine to make the leather or bags. Cutting the largest leather, forming into different parts of the school bags and lining the inner parts. Joining all the parts being lined together to form a complete school bags. And the project outcome.
Then the project outcome. Seeing is believing, as you are seeing, those are the school bags that we have produced with the pure water sachet. A single bag contains 64 pure water sachet, which means 64 pure water sachet is being withdrawn from the street and is used for the production of school bags. The pure water sachet, the 64 pure water sachet that is used for the production of the school bags, if we haven't produced the school bag, it will have been a waste on the street, which will have been a harm to our health and also harmful to the people living in the environment. So instead of which, leaving the pure water sachet to be a harm on us on the environment. So we have turned the pure water sachet to be a blessing on us, and also the pure water sachet has been a blessing on some of the students in rural areas. So
We can hear you again. You're muted. Kindly unmute yourself. You're muted. Okay.
we have distributed the pure water, the bags, to students in rural areas to students in rural schools who doesn't have school bags, who always hold their books in their bare hands to school. So we have distributed the bags to them, with the bag turned to be an educational support to them. Instead of we leaving the pure water sachet on the street, we have produced school bags with it, and it end up being an educational support to the student living in the rural areas. So our next step is launching of the EcoHero Club, admitting new members and initiating new projects. The primary schools benefiting from the school bags, the importance of proper waste management and climate action. Then initiate the local plastic deposit bank for school and community-based EcoHero project. Then we are going to initiate the long-term recycling for the bags through a recovery process after the bags are used and worn out. So in conclusion, therefore, we count it a real privilege to be part of the schools and team participating in the EcoHero Initiative project. This project has really transformed us, impacted our thoughts, improved our knowledge and application of basic and theoretical science topics we are taught in class. It has also built in us a great confidence and boldness to face the future, a new commitment to community transformation and passion towards social entrepreneurship. All of this is made possible through the support of Green Growth Africa and Partner and Wisely. We are grateful and hope to fly your banners and investment in us. Thank you all.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation. That was a good one. Well done with your presentation. So if we have questions, I think now would be a good time to start preparing to take the question. So we have one more presentation from the school from Imperial Bodin. We're trying to wait for them to do their presentation. Yeah. We'll just go ahead to take in questions. So first off, do we have anybody that wants to ask their questions for any of the teams that have presented? Hi, Shakura, can you still hear me? Are you still there? And Yoriko, are you still there?
Yes,
I'm here.
Okay, great. So I don't know if you have comments about each of the presentations, the project presentations that we've taken so far. You can just go ahead and answer my question. Very well welcome. Oh. Okay. Kindly unmute yourself and go ahead and ask your question.
Is it only about math? Can't we look for something? Is it only waste products we're supposed to use for our make all these things?
Sorry, can you introduce yourself first, and then you can go ahead and
My name is Wisdom Sam. My name is Wisdom Samuel. I'm in SS2 in African Child College School. My question is that is it only waste product we are supposed to use to make all these things? That I can't really for any product they are very used and make it.
Sorry, I didn't get the question. Can't you?
Like, is it only waste products we are supposed to use to make on all the projects?
Oh, okay. No. So just as we're saying, we're saying that each of the students. So clearly, what has been done is that each of the students identified various challenges in their communities, and thought about innovative solutions that they could use their science and arts, the knowledge gained from their science and art classes to implement those implement the solution ideas that they came up with to solve those environmental challenges. So for those that used waste materials like organic waste materials or plastic waste materials, it was a challenge that they faced in their community, and they decided to rise up to that challenge and think of innovative ways of solving that challenge in their environment. So you can go beyond. You can just look around you and see any challenge or needs in your communities and come up with solutions to them. We've had teams that, I think we had a team from Abuja that used solar energy they use solar energy to power lamps for reading for students. We've had students from Kenya that use sugarcane waste to make pads. So different challenges are around us, and students just look for innovative solutions to solve those challenges, basically. All right, thank you for your question. I hope I'm able to answer your question. All right, I see there are no questions in the chat box. So Shakura, do you have any comments? Yuri?
Well, as long as I heard about the project conducted in the various African middle schools and high schools, it was very kind of the community based and the occasional based project. So it was really insightful, and I'm really excited about it. Yeah, thank you for a nice presentation.
Thank you. Well done to all the teams. Yeriko, do you have any question or comments for each of the team or any of the team?
Yeah, so like overall, I was super impressed, and like I could not imagine as myself and back in high school, like working on those technical projects. I think it's very need high knowledge to do that, conduct those kind of projects. So I'm really surprised to keep up the good work.
All right, well done. So I think some of the schools, we have two of the schools that we are still expecting to present. And so while we're waiting for them, I think we'll just go into the breakout room session and just have a form of discussion to just discuss about environmental education. We're going to be breaking out into two rooms, so I'll split us into groups where everyone is expected to discuss on how environmental education is implemented in their country and what approach is used, if it's learner-centered or teacher-centered, and how is environmental education applied, either practice-oriented or knowledge-oriented. So basically, what we're going to be doing is just to share whatever knowledge, whatever your opinion is on environmental education and how it is implemented. So, okay. I'll be moving us right now.
Hi, Rejoice, can you give me a moment to just paste the questions in the chat box?
Okay.
Yes, thank you.
Everyone, welcome back. How was the breakout?
Hi, Rejoice.
Yeah, hello. Precious here.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Yes, I can.
Oh, all right. Has everyone come back from the breakout rooms?
I think Shakura is still in
Okay. So yes, our breakout room was really fun. I think we were. I said our breakout room was fun. Twinkle Stars and African Child College and Rico were and me were in my breakout room, and we're able to discuss the questions. So as a summary, and we realized that over here in Nigeria, environmental education is not mainstream within our educational systems. And in Japan, from Yoriko's insights that she shared with us, it depends on the school. So it is not mainstream within their common education, but depending on the school and the emphasis, they could have environmental education within it. And then we also discussed about whether the little environmental education that we see, is it practice oriented or knowledge oriented? And in both Nigeria and in Japan, we saw that it is mostly knowledge oriented, but there is some elements of practice, because after knowledge, students get to do practicals. And then whether it is teacher centered or learner centered. Um, in Nigeria, students from Twinkle Stars helped us to understand that it is more knowledge. I'm sorry, it is more teacher centered in Nigeria, while in Japan, Yoriko mentioned that it also depends on the school. So for the more international schools, it is learner centered, but for the local schools or for the more general schools, basically public schools, it is still teacher centered. So we could see that there's a lot of similarities between Japanese educational system and Nigerian educational system in relation to environmental education. So I think that is what I would take away from there. Thank you very much. And thank you to everyone in my breakout room. Yeah.
I joined from with Shakura, with the team from Imperial
Okay.
Boarding School and Kaimosi Girls High School, as well as AMMK3 College of Science. And
Okay.
when they talked about environmental education, the team from AMKK said that it's more knowledge oriented and teacher centered. So most times they just give the knowledge in class and then there's no practice to it. While the team from Kenya says that it's more of practice oriented, so they don't just stop at getting knowledge in class, they also practice on whatever was learned in class. And then the team from Imperial Boarding School said it was practice oriented and learner centered, as well as teachers approach and students centered approach. So they just merged together. Both students and teachers are involved in environmental education. And then Shakura also told us that in Japan, it's more teacher centered, where majority of the schools there are the teachers are just teaching them and all that, right, Shakura? And it was just great learning from each of them. And the Imperial Boarding School asked questions as regards how to move to a more sustainable way or to conserve the environment, where everybody's involved in environmental education and conserving their immediate environment. So it was a great time discussing with each of the students. So one last thing, we want the team from Imperial Boarding School to present their project, and after then, if there's any other question, we'll take them. Then would.
Oh yes, there's a question from Yoriko, but I think we can address it at the end.
Okay, all right. So I will share my screen. So Imperial Boarding School, in Rwanda and Nigeria can take their presentation. A moment, please. Go ahead and present your project. So while they're preparing, they constructed a cow dung machine that produces cow dung biofuel for cooking. Hi, can you hear me, please, Eme?
Yes.
Okay, so
then.
go ahead and present your project. Hi.
Oh, I think you're muted. Oh,
Okay.
now we can hear you. We can hear you now.
Okay, our project idea is turning cow dung into biofuels. We started from the theoretical aspect of it. That was when we sat down together, we researched, and we studied and brainstormed on how we are going to make this project work in making our environment better, making our climate a better place to stay. So after the theoretical aspect, and after we planned out everything we are going to be doing, then all we have to do is to construct the machine. The machine is a compressing machine that we are going to be using to compress the cow dung, because our project idea is turning cow dung into biofuel. So we constructed the machine. We went to the welding shop and then we did it that we helped in constructing the machine. It wasn't a one-day process. Okay, we did at least 1 or 2 days. Then when our compressing machine was ready, we had to go to an abattoir to collect cow dung. We collected cow dung. Then when we brought the cow dung, we had to use the compressing machine to compress it. By compressing, we mean removing out the water so that it can be a little bit thick, so that it will be very easy to dry. So after compressing it, we had to spread it under the sun, then it dried. Now, what was the main thing we need? What we had to do there is that the cow dung, we can use it as firewood alternative, because there are many things that are helping our country. Now, when we use cow dung as firewood alternative, a lot of things will be prevented. It will reduce deforestation, because the rate of deforestation in our country is alarming. Now, when you use cow dung in place of firewood, the rate by which trees are cut in our countries will reduce. Then we will have shades around us, because when we cut trees, we are exposed directly to the sun. Now, trees will be around us, and then it will reduce the rate of deforestation. Now, it will also reduce the rate of global warming in our country.
Right. Thank you for your presentation. I believe that's all. All right, so I think we have. Does anybody have any questions?
We didn't hear you.
No, I said thank you for your presentation.
Right.
That was a good one. Thank you. Thank you. So, does anybody else have questions for everybody in school? I think there are no questions. So, Precious, what about Yoriko's question? We can have that, and then.
Yeah, I think Yuriko, can you say the question again?
Yeah. So
how is environment?
Sorry, Tessie, hold on. We would attend to your question. Let's have Yoriko's question and then we'll attend to yours. Thank you.
I'm sorry. So my question was to Tessie. Is that right? Yeah. And like he mentioned that it's not mainstream, environmental study is not mainstream in Nigeria. So, but I was wondering how he gained all of this knowledge about environmental and climate related knowledge. Yeah.
We're addressing the question to Tessie, right? So I think that's
Yes,
the
yes,
team
yes.
from College, Nigeria. Yeah. So
Yes.
a question is, how did you get this environmental knowledge in your school, education rather, in your school?
We came across it through our club coordinator, who said that you guys sent it for her. Then she gave us and told us to practice more about it. Then we did it. And when it was time for the meeting, then we came together and said everything like this.
Okay.
All that it came across us.
Okay, so your
Wow.
teacher is more of the person that helps you to, or that teaches you about anything related to environmental education, and if there are opportunities related to implementing impactful or innovative solutions, right? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, okay. All right.
Mm.
Great one.
So
We
you
need
have
teachers
a
like that.
nice quality of teacher.
Yes,
Great. Great. Okay, it's all right. Thank you for waiting to the end of the call. It's been a great session, hearing from all the students with great innovative projects that they implemented in their different schools and communities. Thank you, Climate Youth.
I have a question.
Oh, okay. All right. You can go ahead.
So, you said the produce fuel with cow dump. So my question here is, after sun drying the cow dump, is there any processes that the cow dump will follow before using it to cook? That's my question.
You're muted. You're muted. Imperial Boarding School, Nigeria.
There is no
Okay.
other process.
There is no process involved.
No other process.
Okay, so you just use it directly for cooking,
Is
like
it
that.
the dry one that to cook or what?
The
Sorry, I
dried
didn't
one.
get that. Oh, the dried.
Once it's dried, it's ready for use.
Okay.
Yes, it
All
can
right.
burn.
When it is dried.
Right. All right. Great one. Great one. Are there any other questions?
Yeah. And how long does it take to dry?
It depends on
Okay.
the weather, because it depends on the weather.
And the quantity of the garden.
And also, how long does it take to cook?
It depends the quantity you added to use it to cook. Like, it depends the quantity. And the size of the charcoal pot you're using as well.
Okay, sir. I want to just chip in a bit. So is it that it is like maybe molded and then maybe put into normal charcoal stoves? Is that how it works?
Implications.
Yes,
If
yes.
you do the project, what are the health implications for the value of
Sorry, did you hear my question?
We said yes. We said yes.
Okay,
Oh, you
all
mold
right, thank
the.
you.
Okay, wait. Are you saying you mold the cow dung biofuel before use, like when you're drying it, or is it when you're using it?
After you must have dried it. Like, after you must have dried it.
Okay, you mold it after drying before use. Okay. All right. Okay. Are there any other questions?
Get awareness in rural areas.
So
Yes,
just
ma'am.
as I was. Okay.
Our question is, how can we create awareness in rural areas?
In rural areas around your community. So
Yes.
first off, one thing I would say is you take a survey to understand your environment, and then from there you'd prepare materials, like, for example, if you want to like spread awareness as regards to your project to rural areas, you'd prepare, of course you get permission from your school and then your parents, and then you can go ahead to those, gather yourself together, go ahead to the communities, talk about the problems that you've identified around deforestation, climate change, global warming, and then just explain to them its effect, and then your solution of adapting and mitigating to the effect of climate change. And then you can just introduce your projects to them, how they can, rather than leave the cow dungs to pollute the air and just decay, they can also convert the cow dung into biofuels for cooking. Just spread the awareness, and I think that works as an awareness. Yeah. So
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
you're welcome. All right. So we have come to the end of the 2022-2023 Intercontinental Knowledge Sharing Workshop, and it's been a great pleasure working with you all. It's been a great pleasure listening to you and watching you implement innovative projects in your communities. So I would say don't stop, keep up the good work, and the sky is not the limit. You can go higher and keep doing great works around you. And for Climate Youth Japan, it's been such a pleasure having you on the call. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for making us learn more about how things are being done in Japan and how environmental education is being carried out in your country. It's been great. It's been a pleasure having you. So thank you so much. Precious, do you have any words for the students and for Climate Youth Japan?
All right. I'd just like to say it's been awesome listening to all our projects, and I think the breakout room sessions. Thank you, Shakra, for suggesting that. So for suggesting that we use breakout sessions, because they were really impactful. We're able to learn more from each other and see and compare and contrast between how environmental education works in Nigeria and in Japan. And yes, thank you so much, Climate Youth Japan, for being here. We had a great discussion. It's good to see. It's good to see basically young people coming together to do so much for the environment, for the planet, because we don't have any other planet. So yes, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.
Thank
you.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for inviting us. And it's really insightful and impressive discussions with the African countries' practices and sharing knowledge with you. Thank you so much for inviting.
Thank you,
It's been
ma'am.
a pleasure. All right. So till we meet again, stay environmentally conscious. Bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Have a nice day.
Have a
And
nice
you too. Have a nice evening. Bye, everyone.
Thank
Have a nice
you.
rest of the day.